Well, one issue of concern when it comes to the increasing and changing crime patterns is the involvement of foreigners. At least 3 Nigerians were among the suspects in the Kumasi kidnapping incident, with the information minister indicating that the ringleader is actually a Nigerian. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report put together.
There is a growing fear recent cases of kidnapping, if not checked, could have serious security implications for Ghana. What is even more worrying is the involvement of foreign nationals. Many, including President Akufo-Addo, have publicly expressed concern about the situation.
We are all concerned about this phenomenon of kidnappings, which we have not known. Our brothers and sisters in Nigeria have known it, but we have not known it in this country. And we need to do something about it to make sure that it doesn't become a feature of our society. I am very, very, very determined on the issue, and decisions are being taken as we speak that will be a clear manifestation of the determination I have to deal with this matter. Yes, the disturbing trend.
The arrival of the kingpin raises the tempo in this parade, as is welcomed with shouts and chants. This latest arrest may bring some relief to residents of Lagos and its environs. The expectation, however, is that police will be able to rescue those still in captivity of these kidnappers.
Sometime in 2017, the Nigerian media reported the arrest of a notorious kidnapper, popularly known as Evans. The Nigerian Inspector General of Police at a program in Accra revealed the kidnapper owned a Ghanaian passport, 2 houses at Spinters in Accra. His wife, a Nigerian, also had a Ghanaian passport. When you come here today, there's actually a lock on the brown gate here. Information, according to police, indicates that they picked intelligence about the alleged kidnapping. So they stormed the residence of the Nigerians. They say that the 3 Nigerians who lived here managed to scale this wall here. In April this year, an Estonian diplomat was kidnapped whilst taking a walk in his neighborhood at Laboni. Police later confirmed the 3 suspects were Nigerians. On Wednesday, 29-year-old Nigerian John Oji appeared before a court in the Western region for the offense of conspiracy to kidnap and kidnapping. John is alleged to have taken part in the kidnapping of the 3 Takrady girls. Another Nigerian, Samuel Udutek Wills, has also been named as a suspect in the matter.
An Uber driver has been picked up in connection with the kidnapping of 2 Canadian women in Kumasi. The 2 were returning to their hostel when they were pushed into another car by some men. It's the second such incident in the city in recent times after an Indian man.
The latest case of the kidnapping of 2 Canadians also involves 3 foreigners. Here's Information Minister Kojo Oponkroma providing details.
At the end of the operation, the 2 Nigerians who were holding the women had been subdued, and a 3rd Nigerian, believed to be the leader of the gang, was arrested later at a separate location. At the end, and currently, 5 Ghanaians and 3 Nigerians are in custody for this incident. One of the suspects is
Director of Operations of the Accra Region Police, ACP Kwesi Fori, also has this to say about the involvement of foreign nationals in criminal acts in Ghana.
Now we're putting our nose together. It started recently. We saw that some foreigners were behind the first 2 that we recorded, or 3.
Nigerians,
including the Takrady. I would not like, to preach hate crime or so.
Not necessarily.
But it's a fact that they were Nigerians, right? And looking at the trend, we are looking at it in more critical terms, trying to do our analysis and be able to protect the Ghanaian and whosoever lives in our dear country.
Concerned about recent crimes involving foreigners, the Ghana Immigration Service in April this year urged landlords to check the immigration status of prospective tenants before giving out their rooms for rent. Here is Public Relations Officer, Superintendent Michael Amwakwata.
We expect any property owner who intends to rent out such property to a non-Ghanaian to first of all check on the immigration status of that non-Ghanaian. And for that, the law says that if you ignore this and go ahead to rent out such property to the non-Ghanaian and you are found out, you are liable of contravention of the Immigration Act 2000. So recently we issued out a press release reminding property owners, Ghanaian property owners, to be mindful of the details of the law and ensure that whenever they intend to rent out the property to non-Ghanaians, they should ensure that they have proper immigration status.
But security analyst Adams Bona wants the Ghana Immigration Service to do more to check the influx of foreigners.
The immigration service, they seems to be sleeping on their job. I mean, what are they doing? Because then I'm expecting that by now they should have been telling us how many foreigners are coming into this country, how many of them, the protocol the protocol governing the West African national says that 90 days. Yeah. Do people just come and they stamp without recording where they are coming from, without recording where they are coming to stay? And you cannot focus on on the end of the journey without focusing on trying to stop them. Okay. If you put in measures to stop them, put in more restrictions, make sure quality immigrants are coming in. Then those who have already slipped through and have probably metamorphosed into something else, we find a way to stop them.
Let's get on the line and do some analysis on this. Adam Bona is a security analyst who has closely been following this issue. Mr. Bona, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Bona, if you can hear me, I just sent you some greetings, but then there are facts, and there are facts and there are emotions that are built up on the back of these facts. Fact, we're seeing the trend, and the police, those who have made the arrest, those who have been involved in the arrest of these people, have indicated that Nigerians are behind the trend of kidnappings that we're seeing. But it appears that it's also inciting emotional responses, and so we want to put that in proper perspective. Is it fair to just on the back of this fact assume that Nigerians are those behind kidnappings and armed robbery or crime in general? Is it fair?
Well, it is fair. Thank you. It is fair to say that, and we probably don't need to do any conjecturing. If you want to do probably scientific analysis, there is data to support this assertion that in recent years, crime, surge in new waves of crime in this country are largely, Nigerians are largely behind them. And so the facts are with the police. The police, their own database supports this information. So I believe that apart from that emotional aspect of it, there is also scientific data that supports this assertion. So I probably would want to speak from the point of view of every probably 5 out of 6 kidnappings that has taken place in recent years had Nigerians behind it. And so one can conclusively say, therefore, that Nigerians largely are behind kidnappings. If you take another wave of crime where the victims largely include females, are raped, that type of crime is also perpetrated by and spearheaded by Nigerians. And this data is with the CID. And so you talk about robbery using firearms at mobile money, vendors points. The data supported that Nigerians are largely behind it. And the list goes on. And so some carjacking, Nigerians are behind it. If you then narrow it down to call it highway robberies, then you can probably say the Nigerians don't have too much involvement in that. And so with a new wave of crimes, yes, Nigerians are largely behind it. Yes.
And you say that these are not just based on, I mean, there's emotional bits, but then these are also based on scientific observations. These are conclusions made on the back of some facts that we're seeing. But a lot of people have also raised a concern that if you begin to have a conversation that goes that way, you are risking, you are at the risk, or you are pitching a conversation that puts people at the risk of being attacked or xenophobic attacks against some of these Nigerians who live in Ghana. What then do we do about this situation? How do we really handle it in a way that's safe for both of us?
Well, I think from the point of view of myself and you, the very ordinary persons in this country, we wouldn't be able to do much. I just want to live in an environment where I am safe and sound. I wouldn't want to be attacked by anyone. And so what we can do is to try and see how we can push the leadership of this country, i.e. the president, the ministers of interior, the immigration officials, the director general of immigration, and all the powers that be, to start acting quickly. The parliamentary, the Committee on Defense, Security and Defense, all those people must act, because the issue probably has already gotten out of hand. It takes just a match to ignite something that would be despicable. And so I would urge for caution, and also urge the Nigerian community, because I haven't really heard from the Nigerian ambassador to Ghana. He's representing the interest of Nigerians in this country. And therefore, I was expecting that the moment these arrests were made yesterday, or was made yesterday, probably we would hear a statement from him. By now, the Nigerian consular session should have visited their own indigents who are incarcerated, who have been arrested, and probably addressing the issue head-on through our media, letting our media know that we should remain calm. The Nigerian, officials here who are representing Nigerians are dealing with the issue. So for me, this is probably some of the many ways we can deal with this new wave of
Let's talk about local collaboration, because from yesterday's example, we're seeing, or at least for the other three, the Estonian, the Indian man, we've not had confirmation as to who was behind it, but the Estonian case where the police has told us the Nigerians were behind it, the Canadian girls, Nigerians are behind it. But with this recent case, there were more Ghanaians than Nigerians.
Yes, there were more Nigerians than more Ghanaians than Nigerians, and the simple reason is that Ghanaians are more than Nigerians in this country. But if you look at it, if there are 8 of them arrested and 3 of them are Nigerians, if you want to look at it proportionately, it means that there are more Nigerians in there than Ghanaians. And so because this is Ghana, we have 30 million Ghanaians and maybe 5-7 million Nigerians. And so if you want to look at it scientifically, then you can say that proportionately Nigerians in this crime who actually were arrested are more than Ghanaians.
But then the concern has also been that, well, Ghanaians, a lot of people have said it is not in us. Well, this is not us. This is not Ghanaians. But there also the other side of the argument has been that it just has to take, even though the minister indicated yesterday that the leader, who was the person supposed to be the leader of the ring, was Nigerian. When people say it's not in us to do, they were able to get the Ghanaians to do it anyway.
Well, the point is that, I mean, this country has become a fertile ground for Nigerians to come in, a fertile ground for Nigerians to come in, then it becomes a recruiting base. Then they begin to recruit our own, people to help them perpetuate this dastardly act. And so that is where the problem is, because then when our own indigents begin to master the trade and the craft or the act of kidnapping people, then we are in trouble. And that is where probably we are heading to if this issue is not dealt with the way it has to be dealt with. Yes, like you alluded to, the Nigerians are here, but Ghanaians are also collaborating. They are collaborating. They are helping the Nigerians to do it. But you and I know, and majority of Ghanaians know, that kidnapping is alien in terms of this type of kidnapping for ransom. And we used to have maybe in the whole year, maybe 2-3 of them in Ghana. But, unfortunately, it's become the order of the day. It's almost becoming like you are in Lagos, where you hear kidnapping and it is no longer news.
Right.
And so these are the things that we might have to deal with. We might have to deal with.
Do you think, by the way, that perhaps they just have the odds running against them, the Nigerians? Because first of all, there are stories that we've told from Nigeria where there has been a lot of kidnapping. People know, or when it comes to a kidnapping, a lot of people have tagged Nigeria with it, and so that is there. When you come to Ghana, it just happens that those arrested or those found to be a part of this are Nigerians, but it may not necessarily be just because these few people have been a part of this, that they are actually behind the crimes being perpetrated in the country.
Oh, I mean, for me, I want to speak from the point of view of science. The data supports it, that in recent years, in order not to conjecture or try to produce my own facts, data supports it that in recent years, for especially this year, almost all the kidnappings that took place, all the real kidnappings, most of them were staged. Almost all the real kidnappings that took place in this have taken place in this country, beginning of this year to date. Nigerians led it. And so, therefore, it would not be wrong for us to say, oh, it might not be the case. Usually, if we are not careful and we don't point to that fact, then we will be deviating. The issues are there and we are not dealing with them, and we talk about it and leave it, and the issues continue to fester. And so for me, there is data that supports it, that all the kidnappings we have seen this year, Nigerians have led it. And the fact is there. It's not as if someone is inciting, Ghanaians or other nationalities against other nationalities. It's today as we speak. A Malian has been I'm told that a Malian has been lynched in Tema for attempting to rob a mobile money vendor. It will be wrong to say, therefore, that using that one case in this year of a Malian who has been involved in this crime and unfortunately lynched, to say Malians in Ghana, some Malians in Ghana, or crimes that are mobile money related are largely or are perpetrated or are led by Malians.
Because of that isolated case.
Because of that isolated case. But if you begin to have repeated cases, then the Malians are now doing it, and the data supports it scientifically, pragmatically, one can point directly and say Malians are now campaigns when it comes to, mobile money vendor robbery. And so kidnapping, I can comfortably say from the point of view of data there, to say that Nigerians are the kingpins. They are leading the charge. And so that is it.
Mr. Bona, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Adam Bona, there is a security analyst there with the Security Warehouse, helping us with some analysis on the trend of kidnapping and the persons behind it. He is expecting that the Nigerian High Commission by now would have spoken, or by now would have attempted at least to get in touch with their own who have been arrested in connection to these kidnap issues. We've been trying to get the Nigerian embassy the Nigerian High Commission to speak, but we've not been successful at this point. We're told that we understand that they're not ready to speak at the moment, but we'll keep trying.